The Hive of Gorgons tank build is a tank build specifically designed for the new 10-man raid, the Hive of Gorgons. It aims to provide high defense through use of heavy armor, a sword and shield, and a flail and shield. By using a sword and flail, we can always have our shield in hand, providing extra armor and resistance, and always being in a position to block. To start things off, we have our sword. We are using the Hoplite Longsword. This comes with Refreshing Move and Trenchant Rend. For the final perk, we've added a Boreal Achievement for some extra damage. This sword drops from the final boss of this raid and drops at a gear score of 725. You can then take it to the kiln to change the third perk to one of your choosing. In my opinion, this is one of the best tanking swords in the game. Refreshing Move is key in a tanking build to lower the cooldown of your taunts and defensive skills, and Trenchant Rend allows us to apply more rend when heavy attacking, which we will be doing frequently. For our flail, we are using the new artifact flail, Power Stone. Power Stone comes with the unique perk, Heavy Burden, that causes our attacks to inflict 20% weaken whilst we are above 90% health. This perk is great, allowing us to immediately weaken enemies at the start of the fight. This perk can trigger when using abilities, and although it doesn't state on the perk, this does work on both weapons. This means we will be able to consistently apply weaken whilst attacking with our sword. Power Stone comes with Refreshing Move and Enchanted. For the final perk, we've added Crowded Bludgeon, allowing us to lower the cooldown of our key taunt skill. Similar to the sword, in my opinion, this is one of the best, if not the best, tanking flail in the game. Like the sword, this also comes with Refreshing Move, which is equally key on the flail for tanking, and Enchanted, providing extra damage when attacking. Onto the shield. We are using a tower shield with the perks Shield Defense, Strike Shield Ward, Sturdy Energy, and Sturdy. Shield Defense, Sturdy Energy, and Sturdy are three perks that I look for on most tanking shields that I use. The fourth perk I look for is always a ward perk, providing resistance to a specific damage type. For the Hive of Gorgons, especially the first boss, we will be taking a lot of strike damage, and therefore this shield will help mitigate a lot of that damage. Onto our armor. For our boots, we are using the artifact, the Unmoved. I cannot stress enough how useful this artifact is for tanking. With the release of New World Aeternum, a key change was made from the 300 constitution bonus. Previously, this would provide grit to both light and heavy attacks. However, it now only provides grit to heavy attacks. For tanking, this can result in getting staggered and pushed back when trying to light attack. The Unmoved allows you to hold your position even when pushed, allowing you to hold the enemies where you want. This is also extremely useful against the first boss in the Hive that has an attack that pushes you far. Without the Unmoved, this can result in you getting pushed out of position. However, with the Unmoved, whilst you will still get knocked over, you will stay in position. The Unmoved comes with Grit Ward and Physical Aversion. For the final perk, we've added Slash Conditioning. For the rest of our armor, we are using 3 pieces of the Frigid Dawn set for our helm, gloves, and legs. Frigid Dawn is a named set that drops from the Glacial Tarn expedition, or can be crafted using materia at the Gypsum Kiln. It is known for being one of the best heavy armor pieces in the game, as it comes with the illegal perk combination of Enchanted Ward and Elemental Aversion. These perks are part of the same perk bucket, so cannot normally both be on a piece of armor, which is what makes the Frigid Dawn set unique. Combined, these provide a great amount of damage mitigation. For the final perk on each piece, we have added Slash Conditioning. The second boss in the Hive deals a lot of slash damage, so Slash Conditioning is perfect to help further mitigate that damage. Slash Condition is also a great choice for the armor if wanting to use it in other activities such as PvP. For our final piece of armor, we are using a heavy chest piece with the perks Health, Enchanted Ward, and Refreshing. This provides us with more mitigation, a little extra health, and lowers our cooldowns. This piece could also be changed to another Frigid Dawn piece if preferred. Overall, this gives us 5 Enchanted Ward, 4 Slash Conditioning, 3 Elemental Aversion, 1 Health, 1 Refreshing, 1 Grit Ward, and 1 Physical Aversion. One of the especially good things about this build is that it doesn't require many weapon perks, with the only weapon perk we're actually using being Crowded Bludgeon on our Flail. This allows us to use a lot more generic pieces rather than pieces with specific weapon perks for this build. For the gems in our armor, we are using Onyx on all pieces, as a majority of damage we will be taking will be physical. For our amulet, we will be using 3 amulets throughout the raid. Each amulet will have health and a protection perk. For the first boss, we will use an amulet with strike protection. For the second boss, slash protection, and for the final boss, nature protection. Each amulet will also have a gem that matches the protection perk. The third perk in the amulet is the least important, so it doesn't really matter what it is. Just prioritize getting health and the relevant protection perk. For our ring, we are using the perks Hearty, Slash Damage, and Leeching. For the majority of the fight, we will be using our sword, therefore Slash Damage makes the most sense here, and Leeching helps provide some extra sustain. For the earring, we are using the perks Despise, Healing Heart, and Regenerating. Despised is key for a tank player, allowing us to hold aggro. Regenerating provides sustain and also helps generate threat, again helping us to hold aggro. The third perk, similar to the amulet, is less important, so is more of a preference on what you want to use. For my earring, I'm using Healing Heart, which gives a nice instant heal when using the Heart Rune, which will generally only be used as an emergency button. For the Heart Rune, we are using Stoneform. This provides us with a nice panic button, providing healing and fortify. For our attributes, we are using 350 con and 250 plus strength. 350 con provides us with a big health pool and provides the attribute threshold bonus of 10% damage reduction whilst we have grit. With both of our weapons' primary attribute being strength, 250 plus strength provides damage to both weapons, with 250 strength providing 33% stamina regen whilst attacking. Now let's take a look at the skill trees. Starting with the sword, we are using the skills Upheaval, Leap and Strike, and Defender's Resolve. Defender's Resolve is our key defensive skill. It provides taunt, reduces damage, reduces stamina damage, and heals. Upheaval provides damage, but most importantly, reduces our skill cooldowns by 25%. This is extremely useful to reduce Defender's Resolve's cooldown. Leap and Strike provides mobility. This can come in clutch in the second boss if you are targeted and need to quickly get behind a tower. Notable passives on the skill tree include Empowered Stab and Achilles Heel. Empowered Stab causes our heavy attacks to provide a 30% empower, and Achilles Heel causes our final attack in our light attack chain to inflict 15% rend. The aim will therefore be to heavy attack to get the empower and trigger the rend from the Trenchant Rend perk on our sword, and then 3 light attacks to trigger the rend from Achilles Heel. We have also selected the Leadership Ultimate passive, boosting our group's damage by 10%. Onto the Flail tree. We are using the skills Arcane Vortex, Barrage, and Warding Bludgeon. Warding Bludgeon is our key skill for the Flail. Similar to Defender's Resolve, it taunts and offers defensive buffs. You can use this skill just before getting hit by a big attack to greatly decrease its damage, as this skill provides plus 50% armor to yourself and nearby allies. Barrage provides movement, fortify, and taunt. This skill can be especially useful on the first boss when the boss is leaping, and it can allow you to avoid the leap if out of stamina. It also grants fortify to allies, so it can be useful just before the adds spawn on the second boss to provide your team with fortify as they go to attack the adds. Arcane Vortex provides damage and empower to allies. This is best used when your team is grouped to empower everyone in the raid at once. Notable passives on the Flail include Leader of the Pack. This provides empower to nearby allies. This is especially useful in the raid, as unlike leadership on the sword that only buffs your group, Leader of the Pack can buff the entire raid. So you may consider using the sword more often when the raid is spread out, and using the Flail more often when the raid is close together. That's it for the build. I now just want to mention some tanking tips for each boss. For the first boss, try to tank at the side of the arena, with the boss's tail aiming into the middle. This will mean that when the boss falls over due to draining its stamina, the DPS will be able to access the spikes on its back for extra damage regardless of which way it falls over. This can be a little tricky as the boss does like to move around a bit, but the unmoved definitely helps with this. When the boss gets to 50% and starts leaping, stay where you are. After the boss is done leaping, it will return to you. You will always be marked for the last leap, so just dodge when you get marked and then you can continue tanking. For the second boss, just tank wherever the boss is as it will move around a lot. If the lane you're in gets marked red, move the boss to another lane so your DPS don't get hit with the spikes. When the adds spawn, it's key that you do not use any of your AoE taunt skills, as you do not want to be tanking the adds. Use a heavy attack on the boss to taunt it, and move the boss away from the adds to ensure your team do not get hit by the boss. Ideally at this stage, one healer will heal you, whilst the other heals the DPS. For the final boss, I find it best to tank on the side of the arena, close to one of the fountains. Being close to the fountain allows you to cleanse yourself or the floor around you if needed, without having to rely on a teammate. The main thing to watch out for when tanking this boss is the white clouds. They will give you a debuff, and if you get 10, you will get put to sleep. Being on the side of the arena helps to avoid these, and moving slightly around if you see the clouds coming towards you can help too. That's it for the video. I hope this helped to give a general overview of a tanking build for the Hive of Gorgons raid. As always, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. Thanks for watching.